bright and early and joining us for our little 3x3 daily do challenge here. What I want you to do is visualize yourself in my family room, which is where you are right now. The intent was just like a chat as a group. This isn't anything big and formal. It's just some thoughts that I wanted to share. When we had the Optavia convention, that same week, Mark and I had an athletic club convention, home one day, then we went to this convention. And, you know, your head's just so full of your heart's full of excitement, your head's full of all this stuff. And it's like, well, what am I going to do when I get home? I don't want to just go back to the daily grind and miss out on getting into action. And I was in presidential directors Dan and Megan Valentine's session. And he shared this 3x3 concept. Do 3 things 3 times every day. And so that really resonated with me. I thought, that's something I can go home and do. And I was going to do it myself. And then I thought, gee, maybe we should see if anybody else wants to join us. And look at all you guys. So I'm excited that we're going to do this together. I think you'll find some things that he shared were really helpful. And there were so many great things shared there. I thought the convention was just like over the top. And I'm pulling in a lot of people's ideas, not just the Valentines for sure. But he does this even with every new coach. If you're going to be on his team and be a coach, this is what they do every day to get into action and start creating community around them. If we don't create community, we don't have people to share our offering with. So anyway, hey, Mark's over there across the kitchen.
Yes.
So when Dan Valentine was sharing this, he said this helped him gain perspective on who to share with. And how did he explain that?
Well, one of my big takeaways from Dan's presentation was he said, we're looking for people who are looking. We're not looking for people who we think should be looking. And he and Megan were doing this presentation together. He said, so when I was a brand new coach, he says, I'm thinking, okay, now I need to call all my fat friends and tell them they need me. And Megan goes, Dan, you're so sensitive. She says, you know, don't you wish Dan was your coach? And a whole bunch of people were clapping and hooting and hollering. And he said that was his perspective when he first came in, is how am I going to share this with people? He said, you just create community. And I think Dan and Megan said 90% of their clients come to them. So using this method that Deb's going to share with you this morning, they found that most all of their clients contact them. Very few of the people who are actually their clients are ones that they approach on it. So they just wait for people to approach using this method. So I thought that was a big, strong statement from him.
Right, because we aren't just looking for people that have weight to lose. We have a full offering of healthy habits for people. Oftentimes, the healthy weight's the first place they need to start, but we don't want to judge people. We just want to talk to everybody. So before we do the daily 3, I thought I'd share one other thing that just was emphasized over and over again by different speakers at the conference, and that was that we need to lead with our own health. Are we walking the talk? Is this just something that's good for other people, or do we believe in 6 small meals a day? Do we believe in lean and greens? Do we understand low glycemic? You know, are we on a journey? Are we progressing towards better and better health? We don't have to be at a perfect place, certainly, but we need to be able to be walking the talk and be authentic with what we're doing. And how we're portraying ourselves, are we portraying a healthy lifestyle? And that is in person as we live our life. You know, you start to be a little bit on stage. People are watching you and seeing if you're authentic, and even on Facebook. And I just kind of made a list. Like on our posts, if somebody were to not know you and go back and look at your Facebook, what kind of person would they think you were? Would you be a person that they would be drawn to, that they would trust, that maybe they would find something in your life that they would like to have more of in theirs? So like healthy relationships and family, healthy activities, healthy mind, like quotes, thoughts, your personal reflections, healthy eating. Got to watch how many of those beer and wine pictures we have, right? Healthy weight, or sharing about your own journey. Do people want to be like you? Do you have a life that's desirable to them? So that really you know, makes. Ooh, I have one of the old Bowers this morning, but it's really important that we can walk the talk. Okay, so that's the first thing to kind of set the stage, because when we go into the 3x3. 3 daily activities, 3 times a day. The first one was doing your Facebook posts. And so to have ideas on what to share, it's like, oh my goodness, how am I going to post 3 times a day? I have to interrupt myself. This is hilarious. Stacy, you're the only person I see, so you could smile now and then and wave. Anyway, sorry guys. So when you're going to post, it's like, well, what am I going to post? My friend Doug's here was like, oh, I can't post that much. I'm just, what are we going to say? Well, guys, we're not talking about going in and doing before and afters 3 times a day and hammering healthy everything all the time. No, it's going in and referencing family and kids and your kid's soccer game and, new trick your dog learned, or just little short little snippets. And I thought I'd go ahead and switch to my Facebook page, because that's not my natural style either, you guys. I was like, how does this work? Like, what kind of things can I talk about that people might be interested in? How do I share that often? Because that's not my style. So while at convention, I thought, okay, I'm going to do a post. You can see my post on here on just call me crazy, but I'm so excited to be a certified health coach. For me, that's really out of the box. And I'm like, that was my bold statement. But what happened was I had 23 or so people give me a thumbs up and hearts and all that kind of stuff. And I got comments. And then let's see, what other kind of posts? So here I've been tagged on a couple. So to me, those tags are things that are showing up in my wall. They're showing up in my news feed. So I kind of count them as one of my 3 posts. So I don't want to have like 7 things probably go up for the day. And you're not just, the same people aren't seeing all of your posts. First of all, different people are interested in different things, and different things you're sharing resonate with them. Plus, unless they go back and look at the day's news feed, they don't see all your posts anyway. So I was like, okay, what else can I talk about? You can see there's quite a few that I was tagged on there for a conference. And then, okay, then I went to a Mariners game. So I did a little post on that, and I picked up some activity, some likes on that, which it's interesting. Then I grabbed a piece of paper and I started a contact list. Like, oh, I didn't think about contacting this person, or, oh, I haven't talked to them in a while. And I started making a list of names. And then I was tagged in somebody else's photo that was with me at the ball field. So that was one. And then this one was awesome. Sue Piazza Patrick posted this on Optavia, was telling us how many lives we've impacted. And she's been, a very active coach for a long time. And I'm part of her group. So she tagged me. There's a health coaching post that I didn't even have to do, that I got connected into. And then I did one on quotes, just talking motivational quotes around my house and office. Do you have a favorite one you can share? Well, good grief. I had 46 people that liked it, and about that many, or 35 people, I think, that commented. And then later that day, oh my goodness, you guys, if you're just kind of real and you look at what happens in your life, lots of little funny things happen. That day, I wore my new hiking boots to the club, to work, yes, because I had to break them in. I bought them one day, was going to go backpacking the next day, so I literally wore them to work. The comments and the, people liking it, people that normally don't connect at all with my page. And so anyway, I added their names to my list. So those are just, and this is a post I picked up from one of the instructors. Her daughter was riding a bike and all excited, and I had a chance to talk about, isn't it cool when we pass healthy habits and healthy lifestyles on to the next generation? So I just show you these. This was our backpacking trip. I just show you these because honestly, I was like, I don't think I could tell. I don't think I have enough going on in my life for 3 posts a day, but I think I do. I think I can do it. It's mostly me getting out of my way and not having an attitude about it and doing it. So if we could switch back off of that, those are some examples of them. So then, like I said, I just simply grab a piece of paper. I started jotting down names, had a nice little list. And so the next thing then is, how are we going to contact 3 people? Start 3 new conversations each day. Well, I certainly had plenty of people to talk to. I had a list of, I boiled it down to probably a list of 20 people that I thought I really want to contact them. So maybe you even do more than 3. But this is how the Valentine shared that these replies go. So let's take the one I did on excited to be a health coach. So I went and I private messaged 3 people. And it went like this. I was like, hey, thanks for liking my post about becoming a health coach. And then he said, immediately make a right turn, deflect off me, 100% on them. And my next comment was something like, so, hey, I heard you moved back to the community. Where are you living now? What are you doing? And I did that with 3 different people. So sometimes it was, I mean, he was funny. He's like, ask them about their dog, ask them about their kids, say, hey, I saw a picture of you. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's connect them to you. Why out of the blue? I hadn't talked to this person in 20 years. Why out of the blue you contacted them, and then switch it to them. All 3 of them replied back, and one of them blew my mind. You guys, this was day 1. I just thought, let's try these 3 posts and let's try these 3 private messages. Hey, yeah, I'm back in the community, and she said like 2 sentences, and then literally her 3rd sentence was, I really need to get in shape. Maybe you can help me with that. Here's my phone number. I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff really works. I called her the next day. She's my newest client. And so, like, how awesome is that? I'm sure that won't happen every day, but you guys, you know, the people up front that are sharing this and giving us guidance on these things, they're not just telling us that for fun. It actually really works. I am just so excited. Okay. So I did a little bit more research, kind of thinking about this Zoom this morning. And I watched Eric Huntsberger's video in Simple Systems on following up with Facebook. And guys, I highly recommend that. There's some really great tips in there. But what he said he does, he even keeps it really, really simple. Is I think that he does more like 15 people a day. But he's got a message pre-done, and it's like, hey, thanks for liking my post. What's exciting going on in your life? And so, you know, I customized my comment a little bit, like the Valentine's had suggested. And the Huntsberger, Eric's comment was more like, don't ask him what's going on. Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Because it's going to be like, yeah, well, my dog died. My mom's been sick. I lost my job. You know, you don't know what you're going to get, and that's not where we're going with this, right? So he said, if you ask them what's exciting going on, they tell you something exciting. And he said, almost always they then ask him back, hey, and what's up with you? What's exciting? You know, what are you doing these days? And then you have a chance to open the door and start some conversation. So I thought that was a really good suggestion there also. Okay. So that's our 3 conversations. And then the third thing is, oh, hey, Matt. Matt had another way that he did. He does his connections. Can you tell us how you private message those, Matt?
Hey, Debbie.
Yep.
Can I add in something?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've done this, you know, the messaging people for a while, and you know what I find is a lot of times we'll have this conversation on Facebook, and then the conversation will just end, and that's totally okay. Mm-hmm. And then what has happened is I've opened the door, and we now talk like we're friends. Mm. And so they may keep watching my posts,
yes,
and they may not see anything for like 2 months. And then all of a sudden, because they feel like they've already connected to me, we've already had conversations, we've already shook hands, so to speak.
Yeah,
they can come back and say, hey, what are these health coaching posts about?
Yep.
And I had that happen a lot, and that always just shocked me at first. But then I realized, well, they feel okay to reach out to me because I've reached out to them first.
That's really great input there, because that is really what it's all about. As I've upped my posting and my messaging back to people, I'm actually seeing more of those people come into onto my page more often, and like other posts that I'm doing. Part of that's the Facebook algorithms also. You know, the more we're interacting with people, liking and commenting, the more those people are in our newsfeed and we're in their newsfeed to make that connection. Hey, Matt, are you available?
I'm right here, Deb.
Great. Can you share how you follow up with those Facebook posts?
Yeah. So if I can add a little bit before that. So Debbie is so good. And Carla, your comment was right on. You know, the whole idea of what Debbie's talking about mixing it up is so good. you know, you guys all see me because Christy and I post out here, but sunset posts or whatever the case may be drives activity onto your page. I have a sailboat behind me, or I'll take a picture. What ends up happening is you build this audience. So on the health side of things, to answer Debbie's question, when I see people and I see likes coming across with new faces, people that you know they're out there watching, they've never liked, and all of a sudden you start seeing it show up because it finally hit them. And I see 2 or 3 of them come across. I'll send this I'll private message them, and I'll say, "Thank you so much for liking my posts. You have no idea the difference it makes in someone's life by your like. They potentially will move forward and reclaim their health just because of your like. Thank you so much." Or some iteration of what I just said, and always really close. I'll just sit there and write it out. But the whole point is I just thank them for liking it, because I believe their like will influence someone else and they will move forward and change their health. In fact, I've seen it happen many times. So thank you. And that, I can't begin to tell you the numbers of people that have moved forward in their health journey because of that little follow-up private message, just acknowledging their likes and the importance and the power that they play in other people's lives. It's been very influential.
That's
that
great.
help?
Well, you and Christy both do a really great job. Your posts are always fun and they're lighthearted. They're very transparent. I think people like us to be honest and share our hearts. Sometimes life's not perfect. Those are all good things to do. Okay, thanks. Appreciate
Can I
that.
add that 1 second?
What?
Can I add one thing?
Please do.
Is it okay if I add? So you guys all know me, and you see Christy and I post, and obviously Christy does a lot of the work on our posts, and she helps me out a lot. But the consistency of a brand, it drives all of these likes and gives you the opportunity. So the 3 different areas that Debbie is focused on are key to building this solid foundation. So I'd like to add just a little bit of statistical evidence. So I'm going to use Dan Valentine, okay, because he's generated this. His training generated this training, and Dan would say that probably, oh my gosh, 80 to 90% of his business was generated off of social media. Just doing exactly what Debbie's explaining to you today. What's secret in all of this is consistency in doing it. And Debbie hit the nail on the head. It's about living life out loud. And it's not before and after pictures every day. It's about life out loud. In Christy's and my case is we have a great marriage. We live on the river. We do sunset pictures. We play a lot with our grandkids, and we're health coaches. And that's our brand, and it's our life. So what happens is we've created this following, and so I'm going to tag onto what Dan Valentine said about outcomes of using social media. Christy and I, probably 60 to 70, 80% of our new client acquisition activity starts because of our interaction on Facebook, and then it moves to something different because we Christy, I'll be honest with you. I'm doing this along with everybody else because Christy actually does this really well. I need to improve on it a little bit. And I think what Debbie's doing here for all of us is a great foundation for setting the stage for building these relationships to help people move out of their own way. So my 2 cents. Thank you, Debbie.
Oh, thanks, Matt. That's great. I mean, you guys have such a depth of experience. I love your insight on that. You know, and as we're doing these Facebook follow-ups, the private messaging with people, obviously our goal still is to open a door enough that we can take it to a phone call. I wouldn't go in and do my share in the private message thread. We need to be bold enough to be making those phone calls. And especially for those that are, you know, newer coaches, hey guys, that is not just go and take it on your own, right? What do? Schedule with your mentor. Get your mentor on that call and let them help you, because it feels awkward at first, you know, but your mentor coach will show you how do you very naturally take a private message thread that now all of a sudden turns into a phone call, how do you turn that into a share and have it feel absolutely all about them, just discovering their why and totally comfortable? So grab your mentor coach, use your coach thread that we have, your support team threads that we have set up, and really lean into your coaches, you guys. The more I've done that and the more our coaches have done that, those are the people that are really flourishing. It just really is a very simple thing. You don't have to be going it on your own. Before you open that door too much, get somebody in that space that's done a whole bunch of these types of phone calls, okay? So those are your follow-ups. The third thing that he says to do 3 times every day is friend someone. It's like, oh, good grief, who am I going to friend? Well, let's see. I know all these coaches now that I've met at convention. Hey, guys, those coaches are not the ones we need to be friending, right? Would you see if Danielle's on this call?
She is.
Great. Those aren't the people you want to be friending, because they're never going to be your client, right? And we're actually we're being really intentional to be networking and growing our sphere of looking for people that are looking for what we have to offer. We're not looking for people to sell to. We're looking for people that can benefit from what we're offering. We're looking for people that are looking for this. So what you want to do is think about, when you first got started, hopefully you made your 20 contact list or your 100 contact list of people that, that you work with or you went to school with. I find when I have friends on Facebook that are my high school friends, they're all about my age, and most of us there's a lot of people that need to be working on their health, right? It's just during life, we start taking care of others and not taking care of ourselves. So I really am being intentional in friending those people, maybe people, former teachers, just people you meet around the community. Danielle is on the line, and she had a good insight that someone shared with her, because there are reasons to friend, I thought, other health coaches, because you want to see their posts, kind of how do they manage their page, how do they live their life out loud, what can I learn? But there's another way to do this. Danielle, can you share? Are you there? Danielle, I think you're already unmuted if you want to talk. Okay. Looks like I lost her, but I know what she was going to say, so I'll just share it. What she explained is one of the health coaches that has a really big flourishing business that she liked on, or sent a friend request to, sent a message back, and it was clearly like a standard little very polite reply that said, I would love to be your friend, but Facebook limits the number of friends I can have. I can only have, it's like 5,000. I wish I had that problem, that mine was full. So instead of friending, accepting your friend request, will you please follow me? And so you can go in, instead of friending coaches, you can follow them and still see their posts and save your friending for people that maybe will, be people you can have a relationship with and maybe be your client. So hopefully that makes sense there. So friending those people. And then there was a second thing that Eric Huntsberger also, I think it was, shared. When you're accepting friend requests, or when after they accept your friend request, go back and message them. Start a conversation. They've accepted your friend request, and you can go in and say, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. What kind of exciting things are happening in your life these days? I've just been thinking about you. What's exciting going on? And I really like, once again, to reiterate, I like the what's exciting as opposed to hearing the challenges of their life. Not that we don't want to hear their challenges, but what we really want to do is talk on the bright side there, and hopefully they'll ask us to share something exciting back. So those are really the 3 daily activities to do 3 times a day for the next 30 days. I think that the Valentines and a lot of the other really successful coaches would say you do forever, but we're all jumping in with a 30-day mission here. And I really hope we all stay on track and really do it. But to wrap up, a couple other things. So it's do 3 Facebook posts every day, do 3 private messages and get conversations going, and friend 3 new people every day, right? And those things you guys, those shouldn't take that long. One other thing to add in there would be follow-up. That's the bonus points. is to follow up on conversations, because we're opening these doors, like Carla said. Sometimes people will follow you for months before it gets to another level of conversation. But you've got your contact list of the people that you've been friending and private messaging, and bump them back now and then and ask them an additional question, and make sure to watch if they comment on your Facebook post. Be sure to stay in relationship with those guys. So the kind of a little fourth thing in there, Dan's like, it's 3 things 3 times a day, and Megan's go, but there's this other thing we need to keep following up. So I do think that's really, really important. So,
Debbie, can I add?
Yeah, please, Christy.
Okay, so just to encourage you guys with the 3 posts a day and not to overwhelm you, this weekend I spent some time because I have to admit I might post once a day, sometimes twice. And then I went to a wedding last week, and a friend came up to me and said, "You're an open book." And I went home and I didn't cry, but I thought I could take that offensively, or I could take that as a compliment. And she called me 2 days ago and said, "I wish I was as open of a book as you are, because you inspire people." And she said, "The news is so depressing, and this world is so depressing right now, and I'm always looking for inspiration." So you guys, Facebook is a powerful tool. And as much as we don't all, probably appreciate it as some others, just, you don't have to overwhelm yourself. Like Debbie said, with before and afters, put up like a, let's see, what else could you put up? Like quotes to inspire somebody. Just a simple little quote, just a "Good morning, everyone," or "Happy Saturday," just to inspire people, because they're scrolling and they're looking so fast. But I want to say the one thing that's probably the most powerful right now in Facebook world is live videos. So consider that. If you guys are somewhere and you're at the state fair, you're at a car race, you're at your grandchild's soccer game, you can interview these little kids, and it's precious. And people will stop and they'll look at that. And you don't have to wait for people to get on. And then maybe it's just a minute, but just post it. And that really draws people in. And then that makes you more relatable. I have to tell you, yesterday, my nephew came over to our houseboat, and I told Matt his wife was liking every single post of mine. And so I went and I messaged her and I said, "Hey, Brittany, I haven't seen you in a long time. Matt and I would love to connect with you two." They came over yesterday. They paddleboarded for the first time in their lives. They had so much fun. And it was a miss for me. I'd never invited them to the river. I just didn't think they wanted to come down. And so we talked about health coaching.
Oh, that's great. Those are great reminders, Christy. That's really good. And I think it was, I think it was Terry Miller that was talking about, she talks about how Facebook changes algorithms a lot as far as whose Facebook feed your posts end up in and who ends up in yours. And she was saying that their newest algorithm is up in people that are doing the Facebook Live. They really, that's a really great way to connect. You're right. She said it really gets you into more people's news feeds. Plus they're fun. I haven't done very many of those. I'm going to step that up a little bit. I did my donkey ride. Okay. Anyway, another, just sort of wrap up, just a couple of other thoughts. As I was leaving convention, Wendy and I were sitting in the airport, and Susan LaBelle came over and joined us, and what a delight she was. That was so fun to just have some, debrief with her at the end of the convention. And one of the things that because I talked about the 3x3, I'm like, I just need to do this. I need to do this. And she said, when you do it, set aside your time and be disciplined about it. Go in, write your post, think about what else you might do in the day, follow up on your 3 people. Short, you guys, these are 3 or 4 sentences. People don't need to read a saga. And friend 3 new people. And she goes, then you're done. You're done. Don't be doing that and get distracted and get in your news feed and reading everybody's stuff that's going on and answering your text messages. Your phone's blowing up and distracting you. This is intentional work time, and let it take you 20 minutes and be done and go on with something else. If you have more time and you want to do more, great. But don't just feel like, oh, this stuff takes all day, because it doesn't. Be intentional, go in, get it done, go find something else to do. I thought that was great advice, because it is easy to get distracted when you're in there and get way off target and waste a bunch of time. So we don't have a lot of time for a conversation here, but I would love for us to use our hashtag 3x3 Facebook group for comments. How's it going? What are you finding? If you're struggling with wording, or if you have wording that's getting you a great response, or somebody's texted their phone number, let's keep each other posted, because that's encouraging. Let's keep some activity going on that page. And then I would love to do a 7 a.m. Zoom next Monday morning again, just like 30 minutes. And what I'm hoping we can do is just share. How's this working? How are you feeling about it? What's happening? And just have it as a sharing time. I'll see if I can find, I'll talk to some of you guys during the course of the week and have a few people share some more insight so we can keep honing our skills. I think this is a lot about practicing our skills too, you guys. We're not going out, saying I'm a health coach and real overt conversations. At least those are not what we should be doing. We should be creating community, making it about them until we find a connection point of where we can help them. And remember, it's not even just them. It's, I'd like to discuss this with you, or do you know somebody? Do you know somebody that could use my services? Do you know somebody that could be living a healthier lifestyle? And that's really important too, because then you're asking about them, but it's really not about them. It's a very soft way. It's third person ask for them to think about their friends. Okay, so let's get out of our own way. That's what I have to do. I stumble myself up, get in action, because you know what, you guys, and I know you're all on the same page or you wouldn't be here this morning. You love coaching. You love changing lives. You love when people have an aha moment to trust you and step forward and link arms and move forward on your health journey. And for all of us to grow our influence and help people, and for us to grow our businesses, we've got to get out there and get more clients, right? And if we're trying to also grow our business, we need to be really devoted to supporting our coaches and helping our coaches become comfortable in how to share so they can gain new clients. And then together, all these clients, let's see, I read another thing that was every dollar, I think it was the same session with the Valentines, every dollar we get paid is directly related to someone's health being changed. We don't have to apologize for getting paid for this, you guys. We're providing a really awesome service to people. So get out there, post 3 times a day, follow up 3 times a day, start 3 new phone private message conversations each day, and find 3 new friends. That's actually 4 things I know, but I liked Megan's 4th one. And so let's expand your reach, help your new coaches, grow your business. Let's change the community. Love you all. Thanks for being on. Please, please, please post in the Facebook page, because I'd love to get feedback. Okay, have a good day.